Yeah, my name's Matt, this is Alan, I'm one of the 3 inspectors. We actually are about to have 5 inspectors, we've got 2 in training, so we're growing pretty quickly as long as the housing market keeps going in a good direction. But yeah, so just like Adrian said, I did one for her last week, which is a whole story in itself we've been talking about for 30 minutes here. But yeah, pillar to post, Dan Sloan is the franchise owner, him and Stacy. We are out of Fairhope. We do 5 counties around. We've been to Andalusia, Thomasville, Evergreen, Atmore, Bruton. We go all over the place. So, of course, Baldwin and Mobile County. But one thing I did want to say is we are also fixing to go to, hopefully, Pensacola. We're fixing to get our license to go over there, buy the franchise rights for that area as well. So we're trying to expand as much as we can. I've given everybody a folder, and in that folder I'm going to go through a couple things with you. I'm going to talk about our 3 packages, the Plus, the Premium, and the Prestige. And like she said a while ago, that her client got the Premium, which is our most popular package. But if you look in there and get the flyer out, it's kind of what I'm going to go over first, and then look back in the folder for a couple of things. So our Plus package is our bottom package, our basic package, your standard inspection. That's going to be a visual inspection. However, with pillar to post, you get a couple extra things. We do 360 pictures, which is this up here. I don't think it's on there, but we do 360 walkthrough pictures inside and out of the home on every inspection that we do. So that 360 virtual tour is going to be something that your client's going to get. That's going to be in the email with their report that they can click on. They can look through, walk through it. We have a lot of investors out of state, New York, all around the country that call buying, and that's exactly. We did 4 duplexes in Mobile last week, and all he wanted was the 360. He said, "You can go do your report, but I want the pictures and I want the walkthrough so I can see everything." So every inspection we do comes with that. That virtual tour. Also on the premium package, has a floor plan that camera that we use measures the ceiling in every room, and you can look through that folder. There's a floor plan there on the back page here. This is what your client's gonna get as well with the premium package. It's gonna be the pictures and on every package, but if this is the premium and the prestige package, they're gonna get a floor plan that's gonna be measured out. It measures the walls and the doorways. So back in the day, and I say back in the day, like last week, we had a client, a buyer show up with me, and she's in there measuring, and you got a pencil, you got a pen? I'm like, you don't need all that. She's like, why? I was like, because you did the premium package. What is that? She didn't even read what she bought. So she gets the full floor plan, which is a big deal for people, especially if they're trying to bring their furniture and all of that, so they don't have to measure. So that's a pretty big deal, the floor plan. Every inspection as well, the Plus, Premium, Prestige comes with P2P estimates. So that is in here as well. If you will, this punch list right here. Punch List is a company that works with pillar to post, and with their emailed inspection report, they're going to have 3 or 4, depending on which package they chose, so items they can click on. One is going to be the punch list of P2P estimates. So every inspection that we do, everything that we note that has an issue, P2P estimates will send them a quote back in an email it's just a quote in the geographical area of our zip code of what the price should cost. So what does that do for you and your client, or your client? That tells them a couple things. One, they can use it as a negotiation tool, which at the bottom of this one is $705, which could be in the thousands. Okay, so if you find all these issues and you say, hey, take off the price, $3,000, and we'll call it a deal. Or you can take this, and when they need to get stuff fixed, they say, hey, this plumbing says it should only cost $1,000, and you go to Smith Plumbing. I don't know if that is an actual thing, I'm just using that. If you go to Smith Plumbing, they say, hey, it's gonna be $4,000. Well, your estimate shows that you're not gonna pay $4,000, that it shouldn't cost that. So what does that tell you? Tell them you need another estimate from somebody else. So every inspection gets that as well. The 360 pictures and the P2P estimates. The premium.
Not to interrupt, but those estimates are returned the next day.
Yeah.
So when we leave the property, the homeowner, the buyer will have the report, and the next day they will get that. So when you're looking at, expediting the process, that's part of what we do.
So the premium package also includes, what is our P2P home manual, which is digital homeowners manual. So what that does is that stays with the person for the lifetime of them owning that home and living in the home. So that includes serial numbers on all the appliances in the kitchen. We send those off and check and see if they have a recall. If they have a recall, they send that back to us the next day as well, saying, hey, your oven, it'll give you a list. It'll say your refrigerator, your oven, your microwave, your dishwasher. It'll give you green check marks. If one of them's an issue, it'll give you a red check mark that, hey, this one's under recall. You need to look into having it checked and get the recall checked. But also, as the lifetime of them living in the home, the homeowner's manual that's gonna be connected to their email will also send them a year down the road and say, hey, this has been recalled before you even see it on the news. So they'll be connected to them for a lifetime as well. So that's the premium and the prestige package that comes with. So the prestige package, being our most expensive package, comes with all of everything that I've said. However, we do a mold and air quality test with that as well. So a lot of times here in Mobile, we have issues with people worried about mold, especially people coming from California up north. The South's full of mold. We want to, does the house have mold in it? So we can do an air quality test with the prestige package and a mold test with that as well. There's a handful of other things that we do, and Alan, if you'll hand these out.
Thank you.
We have a handful of add-ons that we do, which includes the air quality test and mold test. So you can pick any package. If you want to do the plus package and the cheapest package, they can do that, and they can add an air quality test, and it might be cheaper than doing the whole prestige package. So we can plug and play on every package. They can pick a package and pick a certain thing. So when we go to inspections now, if the buyer is there, we will hand them a sheet of paper that shows our add-ons, and if they have a grinder pump, if they have a clean out sewer for the sewer line in front of the house, or if they want it scoped, we do sewer scopes. Then the mold swab, water quality test. We have a handful of things that we can do to add on to everything. And they will see that in the contract email that they get from us when we send it to them. If they want to add anything on, we'll of course talk about it and ask if that's something they would like to do. But they also can add it on site. When we are one of the only ones, and I need to do more research, maybe Alan has, but I think we're the only company in the area that prints out a report at every inspection. If the buyer's there and if they want it. A lot of people are in, like I said, out-of-state New York investors that do not want a printed report, and they will email them. So they're gonna get an email no matter what, but then they're gonna get this binder if they're there and they want it. A lot of old school people like the paper, and we will print it out on site at every one of them, okay? So a couple things about this binder. We got our card and hopefully your card as a realtor with it, and we're also adding the cover page of the realtor in the binder as well. And we just started doing that. So basically, what we would do is get with whoever's in charge, and somebody can get Alan those pictures. We will print those out and put them in the binder before your inspection the next day. So your page will be at the beginning. So what that does is that teams us up for hopefully the future inspection on their next home, and you being the future realtor for them when they buy their next home as well. Okay, so the report starts back here, and there's a report in there. The first couple pages is stapled together. It should be behind this, right in front of the floor plan. So it's got the picture of the house. It's got our cover page, which looks kind of like this one on a different house, but good, kind of the same idea. So that's the cover page. The next page is our report summary. And I've just learned that I saw other companies around the area, their report summary is in the back. We want our report summary to be in the front, so that's what you want to see. You don't want to go through the whole report and be like, circle, here's an issue, highlight, here's an issue. This is going to have everything right here, right in the front for you and your client. Now, everything that's on here is coincided with these numbers into the actual report. So if you look here and you go to 3.0, you look at 3.0, it's going to have a picture, and it's going to have an issue. The issue is going to be in bold, which I'm going to scroll over. So everything starts having pictures. So that's how we go over the report with the client that's there. There's pictures. Even if I call them and they're in New York, I'm saying, can you open the report? Let's look at pictures. Because I can tell you everything, pictures is easier for you to understand so you can see. So we have pictures throughout the report. As everything you can see here. And then we also have, I don't even see one here, I need to print one next time. We also use, you know, the little add-on little green arrows and circles, and we can type letters, write notes and stuff on every picture as well, so that's cool too. But in the back here, there's a couple of checklists they can use. Seasonal checklist. As a homeowner, you have a lot of first-time home buyers that don't have a clue what they're getting into to maintain a home, so that's a good helpful tool. And then back here as well, they got a little folder back here for envelope for receipts, and then obviously the date of possession, anything that you need to know. So what they do with this is they take this, they not only have our contact information, they have your contact information, and they also have everything they've done to the home that they can give to the new buyer and say, this is what we've done here, you know, and it makes the transition go a whole lot smoother. So that's a very cool thing that people like to see as well. So everybody is probably wondering, y'all gotta be the most expensive company around. And
So one thing Matt talks about the pictures is the 360 photos as well will have the pictures from the summary report embedded in there as well. So when you look at the 360 pictures, you can see a little dot and you can go to the picture to see what was done in the report. So we marry those together as well.
Yeah, so when they're looking at the report online, say they go to the garage and say the water heater's in the garage. That water heater's gonna pop up in a little bubble if there's an issue, and it's gonna say, hey, in this garage, this water heater has an issue, and it's gonna tell you the exact issue that's in the report. So that's pretty cool as well. And they can email that 360s and everything to family. And one other thing after I talk about the pricing is you can use that as a realtor. We've done many of them now as a virtual open house that I'll talk about here in just a second to put on your listing as well. But price-wise, we are not the most expensive. We are not the cheapest. We're right in the middle. So if you want to take this sheet here I just handed you, this is us compared to 3 other competitors in the area, Baldwin and Mobile County. Not going to name any names, but as you can see, what we do compared to them. I'll go over that list and then we'll talk about the pricing. So we do the 360 walkthrough photos, the repair estimates with P2P estimates and punch lists. You get those within 24 hours. We also do 24 hours guaranteed or it's free. So you call us today, with this, we do it every day. It's almost, you know, before COVID it was, you have an inspection scheduled a week or 2 out. Now it's, you call me today, we can be there tomorrow. And the reason we can do that is because we have 3 inspectors right now that are licensed, and we can do 3 inspections a day. We do 9 inspections in a day. So you call us, if we can't do it in 24 hours, it's free. And we've started doing that. It's been about a year now we've been doing that, and we haven't had an issue with having to do a free one yet. So basically, we just need more inspections. And then when we get 5 people, I don't know, it's even like we said in the meeting the other day, it's gonna be 12 hours, but it's free because I've done it in 3 hours before. But I don't know if that, don't quote me on that. Don't say you said 12 hours for free. But we have 2 more trainings. So anyway, 24 hours guaranteed or it's free, 7 days a week inspections. You work 7 days a week, we work 7 days a week. We'll do inspection on Saturday and Sunday. We answer the phones 7 days a week, from 8 and 7 till whenever. I mean, we've gotten texts at 10, 11 o'clock at night from realtors that are, you know, regulars for us that just think they're family, which they are, and they live with us, and they text us at 11 o'clock and say, hey, can you do one tomorrow at 8 o'clock? And then we'll work it out. So I'm pretty sure we can. So our number, you would text office, you call our office and it text. So we have people that answer the phones all the time. The measured floor plan, we do the lifetime recall check on appliances, the summary report printed and presented on site. So as you look to competitor 1, 2, and 3, they don't do any of those things compared to what we do. Are we better than them? I'm not saying we're better than them. However, we do add more value to our inspections compared to them. Price-wise, if you look up top on the right, a 1954 home, 1,501 square feet, crawl space with a pool inspection, it's $580 for us. Competitor 1, $675, 2 is $649, and 3 is $550. Okay, so we are not the most expensive, but we are not the cheapest. We're kind of right in the middle, and they get a lot more stuff with what we do on every inspection. The one thing I was going to talk about was the virtual open house, which is for you as a realtor to take that and add it to your listing. Okay, so it gets 360 walkthrough pictures like the Matterport does. Our camera's a little bit different. You do the walkthrough pictures and add it to your listing, and then you can also pay a little extra and get the floor plan. That way whoever's looking at the house, when they're looking at it on your listing, they can see, hey, you know, I want my child's room to be this big for this bed or whatever, they can at least, that might help out, you know, you as well. So this is, you just call us up and say, hey, you know, I got a listing, will you come do it? Takes us 15 minutes to walk through the house, and we do it, and then we send it to you, and you can add it. And we also can add it without our logo, and without the measurements on the floor plan, you know, if you just want to have the layout, so we can do a couple different customizations on there. You know of anything?
No, so you can see it, like I said, virtual open house is part of what we do with it, with an inspection anyway, but we do it in the standalone. You can see that on our Facebook page. There's one that we posted up in the last couple of weeks, so it shouldn't be too far back. And Adrian can probably share the one that she had from her, buyer the other day, but it is a really neat feature, and we're glad to get that for you, just to help add one wrinkle to your marketing, you know, as far as trying to get a house moved. It's also really great for any of those out-of-state, you know, sight unseen type buyers, or people who are coming in town. You know, they're gonna see 30 houses this weekend and leave, and they're not gonna remember all of them, but they might remember one of these that you did that for, so, that's always a good help.
I see here, looking at the sewer scope flyer, there's one in your folder. So sewer scopes, big deal in Mobile, a lot of older homes, clay pipes, a lot of trees. So what we do is we take a fiber optic camera, 150-foot cable that we take, and we record from entering the sewer, whether it's on the roof, if we get up there, depending on the pitch of the roof, and hopefully it'll be out front like most of them are nowadays. But we take that camera and we go as far as we can, and it records the whole thing, you know, go on and record all the way back out. So we'll measure as well on the screen, it measures on the camera how far we went, and then it'll, you know, you can see everything. So we send that recording to your buyer, and you say, hey, you know, this is what we recorded, this is how far we went, you know. And then if you say it's supposed to be 100 feet and you only go 30, and you can't really see anything, can't really go any further, then might be an issue. But there are times where we've ran into tree roots, broken pipes, and the homeowners don't even have a clue about it. So that's a big deal. That's about $200, $250 for saving them $10,000 to have the whole, you know, sewer line redone, dug up, and fixed. So that's a pretty big deal, especially here in Mobile.
You said Mobile's known for having clay?
Well, a lot of older homes with clay pipes in the ground, you know, especially in this area. Well, as well, it's just Mobile has a lot. Yeah, downtown, you know, a lot of the older homes in, you know, that downtown area, midtown, you know, this whole area, we do a lot that has clay pipes still, and people, they don't know, they buy the house and they don't even have that information given to them, so they don't know until you actually put the camera down there and see, then they're like, oh, I thought it was just PVC pipe down there, it's not, it's clay pipes. So that's a pretty big deal. You know, mold swabs, air quality test, water quality test. Mold is a big deal. We did one for Adrian's client last week, and it came back positive. So that was, we just opened the air handler, and if we see mold, we're gonna call the client and say, hey, it appears to be mold. I can't guarantee it's mold until we have it tested. Do you want me to test it? It's an extra charge. We give discounts on the add-ons to each premium and prestige that they choose. So the pricing they see online or on their email is gonna be different depending on which package they choose. So we will call them and ask them pretty much about anything. I called her client last week and asked about a grinder pump. I've asked about the mold, or testing the mold in the air handler, and I also did an irrigation test for them as well. So, and I can add that on the spot with an iPad. I can call and take a credit card over the phone. I think they were in North Alabama or whatever, but we can do that over the phone as well at the site, and do that immediately for them to help any concerns that they might have. Anybody have any questions?
The pricing you have here at $580, that's for the basic package?
That is a premium package.
Okay.
So, and it says pool on there as well. We do pool inspections, spa and pool inspections as well.
But based on a home between 1954.
Yeah, so our inspections are priced on the year of the home, the square footage, if it has crawl space. So people can't just call and say, how much do you charge for an inspection? And they still do it every day, you know, so we have to get a few things for them. I can't, you know, there's guys, and I, you know, their competition to us, you know, when COVID started, everything started changing this past year. The realtor market changed, and people are getting out of the home inspection business. So either they're getting out or either they're cutting the prices, just, they don't care what it is. So you call and say, hey, how much is your inspection? They're gonna say, $250, I don't care how big it is, you know what I mean? So that's fine, if your client has, you know, issues with, you know, money that's tight or whatever, we understand. But, you know, we're not gonna do that, our value is where it's at because of who we are. Pillar Post is, the #1 inspection company in the nation. We're based, home is out of Canada, but in Canada and US, it's, #1. A lot of people still don't know about us. I don't even know if a few of you have even, you know, heard of Pillar Post until today. But, you know, we are, who we are, and we do the best and more than anybody else. Yes, ma'am.
Do you offer, I ask a lot of questions.
You're good. No,
Everybody
that's
knows
please.
that.
We talked
So
about
anyways-
walking in. I was like, okay, ask questions. So,
Do you offer re-inspections after repairs and stuff like that?
we will. Their situations are different. If it's an issue at the buyer's request or something, we might charge an extra charge to go back out, but most of the time we would just run by there and check it. The only one that I had a question about was one at the Alabama-Florida line, all the way in, you know, Orange Beach, you know, by the Floribama almost. Just because it's a, you know, 45-minute drive or an hour drive, depending on where we're located, but they're like, can you come back out and check this? And normally what we'll do is we'll schedule it with, you know, we'll say, hey, y'all run by Thursday, I've gotta be down there anyway, and then we'll do it. So, yeah, most of the time it's no charge. Speaking of charging extras, you know, if we go to Andalusia or somewhere, y'all have a family member that's an Evergreen that says, hey, I need an inspection, you know, we'll charge a trip fee for that, you know, travel. But also it depends on the situation. Dan will either charge, and if they get a premium or prestige package, he probably won't charge. You know, it just depends on the situation for stuff like that. So,
Do you find yourself, doing inspections on new builds?
always have.
Construction?
And that's the,
We highly recommend it.
yeah.
You'd be surprised the number of stuff we found, go into an attic and there's not one drop of insulation. Go into a bathroom and the water's not even working.
Wow.
One house, the breakers weren't hooked up. I mean, you'd be surprised the number of stuff you find, and sometimes, unfortunately, you know, I've seen where the home builder has an agent representing them and an agent representing the buyer, and I'm thinking, the buyer doesn't really have any real representation here, so we highly recommend it, and,
Yeah.
you know, even if it's just the plus to get something done to a third party to help them out.
I could name companies, I'm not gonna do it, but I could go down a list and tell you, but every one of them, whether they're the most popular and the best that you think, or the worst, have somebody cutting corners somewhere with something. You know, so, one thing I did not talk about is the premium and prestige. We did use an infrared camera, which is looking through the walls to see moisture. We checked the boxes, electrical boxes for temperatures on breakers and plugs and stuff like that. I found one, recently that was a 160-degree breaker, which is really high on a new home especially, so the infrared camera helps a lot. And then we'll use the infrared camera if we suspect moisture anywhere, we'll use it in anyway, but the premium and prestige, we use the infrared camera and scan the walls, ceilings and floors, and in the attic, the roof structure and everything for moisture, which most of the time you can only see that after it's rained recently, but if it's, you know, if it's a leak with pipes and stuff like that, you'll be able to see it behind the walls if you can't see it with the naked eye.
So this is good for us to have if we had,
Yeah, it's got a lot of pricing.
repairs that need to be done, we can negotiate. This is really good.
And like I said, this flyer doesn't have a pricing on it, like I said, because there's too many variables for us to go by. But that one sheet I gave you shows you kind of a roundabout what we're looking at. And we say, when they call, we say we start at 300, 350 and go up. Just depends on their situation and their house.
How
And what
often
they
do y'all
want.
update these numbers? For the estimates?
That I'd have to find, that came from Pillar to Post, I'd have to find. I would imagine yearly, but,
And this is like a national average then?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, they send those out, we get those.
Is the price based on square footage or just flat rate?
It's square footage, and then depends on the age of the home. If it's an older home, we know we're gonna find
So
no more
then it
issues.
starts at 580.
Well, no, that's a premium, that's the premium
that's the
package.
premium,
Yes, ma'am,
okay.
that's the middle package between the three. So premiums, I mean, so what you can do is you can say 300, 350, and you can say $175 to $200 more for the premium, and then same for the prestige on top of the premium.
And if it were a 2021 construction, it's gonna be on the low end. A plus might be in the low 400s, 400, 425. Whereas if it was 1954 like that, it's gonna be on the higher end.
Yeah, and then the crawl space that we add, we have to go under there, that's an extra charge, which Mobile, it has a lot of those. You know, so it just depends, and then like I said with Dan, depending on the situation, he might not charge for the crawl space, you know, because if they, you know, hey, we're gonna do a premium, do I have to do the crawl space? We won't charge for that, that's, you know, he helps out, and then we give discounts as well, military, first responders, first time home buyers, veterans, all that, we give discounts. So we're not gonna ask every phone call about discounts, because that's just not what we're gonna do. But if you tell them that, you know, they are a first time home buyer and they tell us that we are military or a first time home buyer, we'll give a discount on these inspections for that.
Another thing we offer that we didn't get into this morning is we carry E&O insurance, errors and omission insurance, but it doesn't just cover us, it covers you as the agent as well. If you guys have ever seen a lawsuit, they're gonna sue the seller, the listing agent, you, us, the dog walker, the guy that used to cut the grass for the previous owner. So when they start naming everybody in the lawsuit, we're gonna cover you too. So, you know, we wanna be, again, a help to you guys and not just for us. So, that E&O insurance will help cover you in the event that we don't ever want it to happen, but it happens. And so, in that case, we'll cover you with that as well. You wanna do DLH?
Yeah, and then we also, you wanna talk about the
Yep.
text?
So if everybody will pull your phone out real quick.
Yes, and I wrote this on the board, I'm not the.
If you will
best
text,
teacher.
type in a text to 88500, and then just type in for the message DSloan, DSLOAN, all one word. What's that?
We subscribing to something?
No, you're not subscribing to anything. We're not gonna send you a bunch of texts. But what this is doing is it's giving you our information. So when you text that, you're gonna get back a link to all of our stuff. You can even book an inspection through that. And like Matt said, you can call us, you can text us, you can email us. So any way you want to get in touch with us to set that up. But no, ma'am, you are not subscribing to a bunch of text messages. I should have started with that. Thank you. You are not subscribing to a bunch of text message marketing.
Yeah, so that just, so if you're talking to a buyer. and
More
you're-
text messages.
Yeah, that's what we all want is more crap, right?
You're talking to a buyer and they're like, you schedule it for me, you know, a lot of them will do that, and you just pick up that, and I think it saves, you can save it as a app, it looks like an app, it just goes to the link or whatever, but you can save it. And I even think it saves as Dan and Stacy's picture, so that's something you might can hide if you want to, but at least you know it's there. They did it with us in the meeting at our meetings that we have, and it popped up as their face, and I was like, oh, that was clever, you know, I don't have that, so, but yeah, it's just a tap of a button and you can have a inspection scheduled, you know, pretty quick, you know, so it's just, everything's going that way, everything's, you know, we wanna do it as quickly as possible, so that's just another option.
Do you have questions?
All right,
No, I'm done, thank you.
So you mentioned,
so
I have one question.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned, you know, the VA discounts and stuff like that, we know Owen appreciates those, and what about realtor discounts? If I'm having my house that I just bought, and I have to have an inspection done.
That's probably, so I can't guarantee you Dan's gonna
I
say
have to
yes,
ask,
but,
you know, I mean,
yeah, no, if you talk to Dan and say, hey, you know, but also, you know, we have
I
regulars.
think it's a scratch of my back, I scratch it.
Yeah, so we have
I think everyone in
regulars.
this room knows me, and I'm a cheapskate. If you save me 50 cents, you probably got my business.
Right.
Then yes, we got you.
Yeah, so, yeah, but like she said, scratch our back or scratch our back. So we have regulars that use us a lot on every inspection, and unfortunately.
50 cents.
So,
Yeah.
so sometimes I feel like we're getting taken advantage of when they call on those late nights, you know, and we see that name pop up and like, you know, but it's business, it's another job for us, you know, so we'll definitely do what we can to make your life a lot easier, so. All right, we appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much for having us. If you
Yeah,
have any
thank you.
questions, feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out, even with just some simple questions. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it.